and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 1, 2, 3.
Tough on stains with longer lasting freshness. New Omo Extra Fresh with longer lasting freshness.
What limits you? Nothing. Who defines you? No one. Where can you go? Everywhere. With unlimited super-fast internet access, free Intel to Intel calls, and crystal clear quality conversations, you can do and be whatever you want to be. Intel. Live more.
Anybody who is exposed can contract coronavirus, but not everybody has a fair chance of surviving the disease. Data has shown that older persons stand a higher risk of dying. Are you 55 years and above? Do you have pre-existing health conditions? Please safeguard yourself and minimize your risk. Observe all COVID-19 protocols.
If you hear of anyone with high fever, dry cough, and difficulty in breathing, please do not go near such a person because they could be a victim of coronavirus infection. Call someone else or the NCDC to assist. Please use your prescribed medications regularly. Exercise around your home and eat well so that you can remain healthy and strong. For an older adult, to beat coronavirus is not to contract it at all.
This message is brought to you by Gerontology Association of Nigeria, the Geriatrics Association of Nigeria, and Dave Mokoro Foundation in conjunction with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
On the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. And give George.
A lot of fake news and report circulating, especially on social media, on the coronavirus. Do not believe or partake in the spread of these fake reports. If it is not on the official website or news from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, disregard such report. Only together can we beat this virus. Only together can we overcome this pandemic. Follow the instructions and guidelines provided to combat this virus. Most importantly, stay at home. Self-isolate, regardless of your status. The virus doesn't move
Hello and welcome to this special edition of the news package that comes with the extra touch. It is the last for the year 2020, and I promise you it is a package you won't forget in a hurry, even if you want to forget the year 2020 with its challenges. First, there is good news that security in the northeast and other troubled areas in the country will improve significantly in 2021. And on the economy, the Nigerian Stock Exchange adjudged best performing in the world. Wow, wait for it. In the reports, we bring you sectoral reviews of the year 2020 and prospects for 2021. There are human angle stories that bring out the humanity in Nigerians and their love for unity and development. Of course, we won't let the mean registration exercise be till it is done and dusted. Tonight we have some updates for you. For those traveling to the east, if your trip must take you through Abuja State, you need to watch this bulletin. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Well, all these and more are here to usher in the year 2021. But let me allow you to judge for yourself. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umaruba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. The security situation in the northeast and indeed other parts of the country will not be same in the year 2021. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno dropped the cheering news while speaking to newsmen after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the meeting also discussed prevailing challenges of security as well as planned repatriation of Nigerians taking refuge in neighboring countries.
Governor Zulum's Borno State is without doubt the worst hit by terrorism and insurgency bedeviled in Nigeria for over a decade. Apart from severe devastation to human lives and livelihoods, over 20,000 people were killed, nearly 2.3 million others displaced, and billions of naira worth of personal and public assets destroyed. Borno was virtually under siege as several council areas were effectively under the control of the criminal elements. With the far-reaching measures adopted by the Buhari presidency on coming to power, the security situation has significantly improved as lost territories were recaptured and Boko Haram technically defeated. However, the terror group is still wreaking havoc, especially on soft targets, as demonstrated in the recent killing of rice farmers at Zabarmari community of Borno State. That incident and others in parts of the country are getting Nigerians worried, and this dominated discussions between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum. After their closed-door engagement attended by Defense Minister Bashir Magashi, Governor Zulum told newsmen unequivocally that hope is bright for an end to the prevailing challenges of security in the country.
The President has assured Nigerians, has assured people of Borno State that we shall see improvement in the year 2021, and I'm optimistic that we shall see it. Government at the subnational level will also exploit all potentials to strengthen the resilience of the communities, in addition to what the Nigerian army is doing. The President is up to the task to ensure that there will be major changes in terms of security station in the entire nation in the year 2021.
Governor Zulum also discussed with the President issues relating to the repatriation of Nigerians living in the neighboring Chad, Niger, and Cameroon.
They have stayed for a long time. They want to come back home. There is an ongoing agitation by them, and I think government has to listen to them. And President has given me the assurances that he will support this very important initiative in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs in ensuring the repatriation within the shortest possible time.
Borno State government, he said, is prepared to work hand in hand with the federal government in support of the planned repatriation exercise. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari is tasking the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, to collaborate more effectively with critical stakeholders towards ensuring that its technological inventions are not only mass-produced, but deployed and utilized for enhanced national growth and development. This was when he granted audience to the Executive Vice Chairman of the agency, Professor Mohammed Sani Haruna. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the details.
The Executive Vice Chairman of NASENI, Professor Muhammad Sani Haruna, was in the State House to brief President Muhammadu Buhari on the giant strides recorded by the agency in the production of parts, goods, and services required for Nigeria's technological advancement.
There are certain technologies developed by NASENI that are ceded to private sector for mass production. For example, when there is scarcity of smart prepaid meter, NASENI developed Nigerian version, unique, and many companies went through the bidding process. The winner is in the process of setting up a manufacturing plant for mass production. Also, NASENI's own version of Keke Nafe, what we call Keke NASENI, the cargo version, has been ceded for mass production to Inosom Motors. NASENI has intervened in many areas, especially renewable energy. We are producing solar modules, that is solar panel in Karshi, as a result of research and developmental activities.
Through its National Tractor Recovery Program, for instance, NASENI, Professor Sani Haruna explained, is also involved in what he called the refurbishment, rehabilitation, and redeployment of broken-down agricultural implements back to the farms for enhanced agricultural production.
The President is very impressed and happy with the achievements so far. he urged us to do more, such that the technologies that are yet to deploy for the benefits of Nigerians can be done, and also promised to look at all our hindrances for optimal performance. The National Tractor Recovery Program is only a pilot scheme we commence from Niger State. He wants us to expand to other areas because that can boost agricultural products.
With President Muhammadu Buhari as chairman of Naseni board, the executive vice chairman is certain that the agency can only do much more for the desired prosperity of the country.
We are going further into electric vehicles, aircraft, and the rest of it. But most importantly, what Naseni is doing is now impacting on the lives of the common man. There are so many products of Naseni in our schools, in our farms, in our homes for processing of food and crops to make it easier, providing electricity for communities that have never experienced electricity before. For it to be 100% made in Nigeria is a thing of joy and of pride.
The governing board meeting of Naseni is soon to be hosted by the president, during which major decisions will be taken towards charting the best way forward for the agency. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Nigerian economy is sustainably progressing at a steady recovery pace and gradually surmounting the pressure mounted by the unavoidable recession occasioned by the novel coronavirus pandemic in year 2020. Guests on NTA Tuesday Live say, despite continued domestic challenges and dwindling resources experienced, federal government policies and programs are yielding desired results in revamping critical sectors. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
2020, an unforgettable year of unusual happenings that dissipated factors that changed the face of global economy, politics, and humanity, occasioned by the COVID-19 lockdown. In Nigeria, the fiscal year was affected by impact of the global pandemic and later exacerbated by NSAS protests that caused a major drawback in the implementation of 2020 budget.
The situation we have at hand may not have allowed it to be able to get what it wants to get. But our prayer is that as we move ahead, God will help us to be able to make sure that things work better.
With COVID or no COVID, the government has not slowed down in ensuring meeting their responsibility in ensuring that we get the rail delivered.
Guests say the strategic frameworks adopted by federal government in the areas of infrastructure, power, transportation, health, commerce, including oil and gas sector, yielded appreciable results.
But having said that, there are robust macroeconomic responses, both fiscal and monetary, and the authorities have not rested. They have tackled the situation head on, and that's why we have hope in the future.
The government does not need to blow its trumpets. The government is doing what it's supposed to do. So the government does not come to say, look, we have dismayed so number of terrorists, we've done this. There are certain operations that are covered. The citizens will just see free passage. Things are done in a normal way because some of the security agencies have done their work when they're supposed to do it.
As the nation's battles with the challenges of 2020, experts say the successful transition of budget cycle from January to December and the quality policy frameworks put in place by federal government will change 2021 perspective towards the attainment of sufficiency and stability of the economy. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
At the start of the year 2020, growth in the Nigerian economy was projected to rise by as much as 3.6%. But alas, it was not to be. Coronavirus came along with uncertainties that spared no one and eventually threw the global economy into a deep recession. Leah Katimbabatunde in this report takes a look at how the Nigerian economy fared in this year 2020 that everybody wants to be done with.
It was a year that started with high hopes that the economy will move only one way, positive growth, with all projections seeing Nigeria's GDP rise by an average of 3% by the end of 2020. Then the pandemic, which started in Wuhan, China, soon spread like wildfire, and all projections went south, including prices of crude oil, Nigeria's major source of revenue. The 2020 budget had to be reviewed twice to reflect the prevailing fundamentals, with lockdown slowing trade and adversely affecting all aspects of the economy.
For MSMEs, by reducing their taxes and also giving a lot of tax incentives to industry, is all designed to help industry to grow. The monetary authorities have provided several packets of funding that are low cost and designed to be easy to access, to help companies get working capital, renew their inventory, as well as also expand their production lines.
In the second quarter of 2020, Nigeria's GDP fell by 6.1%. This, however, got trimmed to 3.4% by the end of the third quarter, a remarkable comeback, experts note.
We all know the Nigeria background. Where are we as a country? Hopefully heading out of recession.
In other indicators, inflation rose to 14.89% year-on-year in November. Crude oil prices as of December 24 stood at $50.99 a barrel. Exchange rate 379 naira to the dollar. Excess crude account $72.411 million with a negative balance of trade. Notably, the government injected funds massively to reflate the economy, build infrastructure, provide palliatives for the vulnerable, and instituted survival funds for MSMEs affected by the pandemic. All these are part of the Economic Sustainability Plan, ESP. So far, about 500,000 have benefited. The payroll support scheme has paid about 350,000 beneficiaries. Almost 166,000 of 300,000 artisans have benefited from the Artisan and Transport Scheme, and the Corporate Affairs Commission is ramping up numbers to register 250,000 new businesses free of charge. By the end of December, an approximated 400,000 payroll support beneficiaries will have received salaries for October to December, while structures have been put in place to commence the general grants and the guaranteed offtake scheme early next year. Was it all gloom for Nigeria in 2020? How did other sectors like the Nigerian stock market fare? The second part of this review has answers to these questions and more. Leah Baba today, NTA News.
Up ahead, power sector and rail transportation in focus. Plus, Cross River residents get excited over chickens. Find out how when we come back.
House. We may look alike, but we are very different individuals. My adorable twins, they look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, I had to find out the hard way because I've been trying to teach him my way. He loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal, because due to its non-stickiness, it allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber, and non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat your pasta just the way you like it. Go on and enjoy your Golden Penny Pasta the way you want it. With Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
Make this Christmas special with family, friends, and Terra. Merry Christmas and season's greetings. This Christmas, share joy, happiness, and stay safe with Corzan. Merry Christmas and season's greetings.
The holidays are upon us again. The petroleum tanker drivers of New Bank, in collaboration with the Federal Road Safety Corps, joyfully congratulates all Christian faithfuls this Christmas period. It is a season for us to share love with friends and family. As you travel, please remember that the coronavirus is still out there. Wear your face mask in public places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water for at least 60 seconds. Do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth, and maintain a physical distance of at least 2 meters. The safety of our travelers is our priority. Do not drink and drive. Use your seat belts while driving. Do not drive on worn-out tires. Obey all traffic rules and regulations. And make sure that your vehicle is in roadworthy condition. Consideration for other road users is everyone's responsibility. Remember, your life is precious to your loved ones and the nation. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This message is from the petroleum tanker drivers of New Peng. Comrade Salmon Akoni Oladiti, Chairman, New Peng PTD, announcing.
As I dey waka inside this journey called life.
No one sees what this journey took from him.
But I'll keep on keeping on. Cause to them say nothing good they come in.
How far he pushed his mind and his body. Myself, how many times he broke down and needed support. Success lies on the other end of pain. See as everybody they hail am now, cheering every verse and chorus. As Naija mama where I be, my son no fit carry last. So when pain comes knocking, we look back at it without fear and say, not today.
For aches, pains, and fever, trust Emzor paracetamol.
It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
We congratulate you for progress on your journey. Now, Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers have Molfix Air Dry. Thanks to its ultra absorbency and breathability, Molfix has the dryness all the mothers dream of. So the babies will not experience any rash. Babies are always comfortable. Mothers are too, because they don't need to worry about ventilation. Thanks to Molfix Air Dry, now babies and mothers enjoy the ultimate peace. Come and join the mothers who experience Molfix Air Dry.
There are no small beginnings, only stepping stones to bigger things. That's our philosophy at Premium Pension. And so no matter the size of your money, our team of expert fund managers invested wisely and actively to make sure your money is always working as hard as you do. After all, the things we're building today can help shape your future in the long run. And with the right partner by your side, the one thing you're sure to do is soar. Premium Pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Mama, baby.
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Tottenham Hotspur ended 2020 in a slump, but will their fortunes change when they take on Leeds United in their first game of 2021 on Saturday? It's Tottenham versus Leeds United on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up in association with Goal.com.
Great to have you back on News Extra. I'm sure if you ask Nigerians to name 3 things they would like to enjoy on a regular basis, power supply will feature prominently. I'm also sure government is not unaware of this. That is why the quest for adequate and reliable power supply has continued to receive priority attention, with sector players sustaining momentum for optimal results. Joshua Jito takes a look at some of the milestones and challenges of the power sector in the year 2020.
Strategic to economic growth of any nation is availability of electricity supply, and federal government says it remains topmost on its priority list, with more funding injected into the sector in 2020. However, the sector had its share of the ripple effect of COVID-19 pandemic, which slowed down work on many power projects. Notwithstanding, power sector witnessed remarkable progress in the year 2020 as Nigeria recorded twice in the year peak generation of more than 5,000 megawatts of electricity, which was successfully transmitted through the national grid.
What we have to do first is to make sure that we have a robot grid that can transmit power anytime and any place.
Similarly, number of power substations were inaugurated, like the Gagarawa substation in Jigawa State, which was abandoned for more than 20 years, even as more contractors were mobilized back to site to complete abandoned power projects. The Mambila hydroelectric power project, which remained on the drawing board for more than 40 years, is gradually becoming a reality, with a flag of sensitization to host communities and youth empowerment program that will train 20,000 youths expected to be engaged during the construction of the hydro dam.
We wish to provide action and more action as far as this project is concerned.
While efforts are being made to construct more hydro and gas power plants, attention is also given to solar-powered projects, with many inaugurated across the country, while additional 20 million Nigerians are expected to benefit from the solar-powered Niger project, which Rural Electrification Agency flagged off in the year under review.
As we progress, by the year 2021, up to the end of our tenure, we intend to achieve a lot, not less than 11,000 megawatts.
In order to make the sector attractive to investors and in line with the multi-year tariff order, service-based reflective tariff was introduced to boost power supply and ensure customers pay only for what they consume. This was followed by the National Mass Metering Program, thereby bringing to an end an era of estimated billing and revenue losses in the sector. There was also leadership change at the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, as the managing director of the company, Usman Gur Mohammed, was relieved of his appointment, and Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz stepped in as the acting managing director. Projecting into the new year, sector players say the gains recorded in the year 2020 should be consolidated for Nigeria to overcome the challenge of inadequate power supply. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Thank you, Joshua. If you agree, constant power supply ranks high in people's yearnings. What of transportation? This is a sector with a glaring impact. You know, we have air, water, and land transportation, and on the land, there is the rail subsector. Rail development has been described as a moving force. True or false? Let's find out from Oina Kalu Oka as she chronicles the rail journey, so to say, this 2020.
Are two generations apart with several differences, but one thing in common: lovers of train ride. The transformation drive in the sector has made great impact on them. Washidu Mukarim and 8-year-old Amira Jutubo are regular passengers at the Abuja-Kaduna train stations.
I take Abuja-Kaduna train so far not less than 60-70 times.
And I can see mountains, I can see trees.
The story of these two lovers of train rides captures the impact of the transformation drive in the sector and achievements in the year 2020.
The administration, they are doing very well concerning the improving of the train all over the nation.
Take the case of Itakwe Ajokuta Warri rail line spanning 3 states of Kogi, Edo and Delta. Inaugurated this year 2020 after 3 decades of delay.
It is glorious. It is victory for Nigeria.
Another success story is the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line, which despite the lockdown of COVID-19 was completed and now test running to be inaugurated soon.
Very pleasant. I'm so impressed.
The Abuja-Kaduna train service continued to gain acceptance. 2 more locomotives and 10 coaches were added to the rail line.
A few years after independence, we lost it on the railways. So it took a lot of courage and sense of responsibility for the government to really sit down and work out a strategy to put back the railways.
In 2020, it was sharing news at the Federal Executive Council meeting for the rail developments. Several approvals were granted for the construction, rehabilitation, and reconstruction of the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Eastern Narrow Gauge Railway, construction of a rail line linking Kano to Maradi in Niger Republic, and construction of Ibadan-Kano rail line, as well as the Abuja-Itakpe-Lokoja rail line.
Park will cost $389.31 million at no cost to the federal government. I want to repeat that.
The new lines we are opening now are tailored to form a network that will fully support economy of the country.
We thank the Minister for Transport for looking at it with enthusiasm, for not engaging in policy somersault.
So we cannot overemphasize the impact of an effective and working rail system we have on Nigerian economy. It's not because Buhari want to ride the train, that's why it's constructed them, but it's constructed for the benefit of all Nigerians.
It was not just sharing news, as the railway sector was not exempted from COVID-19. For about 5 months, train stations were shut down across the country. Construction works were delayed and number of workforce reduced. To ensure safety, the number of passengers were reduced for physical distancing. The Abuja-Kaduna train service witnessed breakdown, and the issue of ticket racketeering keeps reoccurring as federal government plans to roll out e-ticketing, which is undergoing test running. For 2021, the plan is massive as the Lagos-Ibadan rail line will be inaugurated. Construction work for the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Eastern rail line is expected to kick off, same with Ibadan-Kano and that of Abuja-Itakpe-Lokoja rail lines. By the end of 2021, federal government hopes to link so many states by rail. Oyinaya Kalo-Oka, NTA News.
Sure, we can't wait for 2021. Now into the world of Nigerian economy. The Nigerian Stock Exchange has outperformed all exchanges in the world with a record-breaking equities index rising above 45% in 2020 and an increased market capitalization to the 15 trillion mark. The bullish performance in trading activities in recent times aided an outstanding performance on Tuesday, where the all-share index on the Nigerian bourse appreciated by 4.92%, thereby placing it far above 93 equity indexes. Benny Adams has the report.
The Nigerian bourse in 2019 witnessed slow but steady bullish run that was caused by various factors, including a sluggish macroeconomic landscape, fiscal and monetary policy direction, as well as an underwhelming trend in foreign portfolio investments and concerns around the stability of the naira. To drive growth in the equity markets in 2020, the exchange rolled out various initiatives to include a new market structure to enhance liquidity and ensure overall market stability alongside efficiency.
When you look at the foreign participation, foreign investors data, you discover that domestic participation has increased with almost about 60% of the total market, which has also changed the dynamics. So in March, if we look back in March, during the announcement of the COVID-19 in Nigeria, the restrictions, you will discover that foreign investors were pulling out in droves. But what we currently, with the dominance of retail as well as institutional domestic investors, the dynamics has changed, and most investors are holding on to their position ahead of declaration of dividend in the first quarter of 2021. And that's why, despite the news of the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic, we we haven't seen that major shock in the market.
Experts say the all-share index appreciation of 4.92% on Tuesday is the highest daily gain recorded by the exchange in more than 5 years, and the 12th in a row, making it the longest winning streak the Nigerian bourse has recorded since July 2017. Recording a year-to-date growth of 7.7% with a record market capitalization to the 15 trillion naira mark.
We can say again that 2020 is arguably the best year we have ever experienced in the Nigerian capital market, because this year we had to trigger the circuit breaker. That is, the circuit breaker came in at a time the capital market was going out of the roof. The rate of appreciation were far beyond the 5% threshold that it was meant to be. But on that particular day in November, we saw that the market capitalization, the all-share index appreciated as high as 6.2%, and that was massive. So
Ayodeji Ebo shares his thoughts on the outlook for 2021.
2021 would be, for the equities market, will be a year of two halves. Given the continued low interest rate environment, we feel that we would see that the market also rally in the first half of the year. And as we were expecting that rates would also improve before the tail end of the year in 2021. And when you look at the correlation between the fixed income market and the stock market, which is negative, so we would begin to see reduction of participation in the stock market compared to what you have in the fixed income market, which would affect the return in the equities market.
The NSE has recorded listings in the market worth over 1.42 trillion naira from March 24th to September 24th, 2020, since its policy on providing accessible platforms for listings and trading activities began. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Benny, for that. And to talk more on the NSE as the best performing global market 2020, we have Ni Akinsiju. He is in our Lagos studios. He's also an economic analyst. Good to have you on News Extra tonight.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure always.
Okay, the NSE started out as one of the best performing equities market in the world at the beginning of the year, but quickly sank into the bearish territory, reaching an historic low at the peak of lockdowns. What gave it the present fate?
I think it's a combination of policies, what is now popularly known as the CBN heterogeneous policies deployment. It's not just an immediate thing, but the immediate explanation for that would be the falling or the hugely or vastly reduced yield in the fixed income markets, as noted by one of the analysts you spoke with earlier. We have seen yield reduced as much from a high of 11%, to 0.4% on the average, on the three Nigerian treasury bills, and on the FG bond to as low as 6%. So, of course, this will not. This does not provide attraction, to the average investor who now look at the equity markets as a ready option, both in terms of capital appreciation and, of course, in terms of the dividends yield. Most results that are coming from listed companies over the last few weeks, their 9 months results. Of course, we should also note that most Nigerian companies listed on the stock exchange have December year end. So their 9 months results are in, and they are quite impressive, and they hold prospects of impressive dividends payout, which translate to impressive dividends yield. And when you compare the dividends yield that are likely to be paid by those companies, they would most likely be higher than the yield from the fixed income instrument, as it were. So the preference would be that investors are now started moving into the equity markets in preference over the fixed income markets. But the essential thing really is that we have companies that are listed in the stock market that have very strong fundamentals, and their results are looking profitable at the end of the year. So that's another major attraction. But most importantly, we should give it to the CBN for the kind of policies they have introduced into the financial sector in such a way that a new ecosystem had actually emerged in that industry, in the financial industry, in a way that liquidity is compelled, huge liquidity is compelled in that marketplace, so that even banks and institutional investors, the pension administrators and insurance companies and all that, don't have any choice, than to move into the equity market. And beyond that, it is also creating a multiplier effect because of this huge liquidity in the system. Companies, listed companies are also approaching the market, the capital market, to raise their own commercial papers, and at reduced rates too. It's another level is that because of the huge liquidity in the market, in the financial market too, interest rates, lending rates is also falling, so for household loan, for commercial loans and all that, for the first time we are seeing lending rate falling below 18%, much more than what it used to be, 30%, 35% in the recent past. Again, the reduction, the minimum cap on savings accounts that is stated at about 1.25% now, a total with the policy of no more than 10% of MPR, had also reduced the tendency to save. So all this put together is a creation of the CBN, an engineered, scenario of the CBN. And now we have so much money in the system, either to lend or to move into the capital market, into the equity market, and of course drive production.
Oh, well, Mr. New, you've informed us of, a lot about the NCA and its performance in 2020. So what is the outlook for 2021?
Well, going forward, what is sure is that there is a bit of discomfort, and we have to observe that. What we have now in the fixed income market is a concern, for the typical investor, because what you have is what is known as negative real returns on investments. One, inflation rate is high, and the yield on fixed income is low. It's not supposed to be in a contrarian position with each other. So we expect going into this era, especially now that the government is likely to also look out to raise a fund to fund the fiscal 2021 budget, the deficits in the fiscal 2021 budget. There's a likelihood of increase in the rate of yield, in the yield of fixed income, and then they will now start moving towards a balance, between equity market returns and, of course, the fixed income instruments too. But what is clear is that even at a time of challenges, the companies listed on the Nigerian stock exchange had shown resilience and capacity. And of course, this is also a reflection of the macro economy. Though there may be this little border that some analysts will say that the macro environment is not too impressive, but if you look at the result of banks and even manufacturing companies listed on the stock exchange, we are likely to see, and I'm saying despite the challenges of the COVID-19, we are likely to see very impressive results in terms of profit to shareholders. So there will still be a lot of attraction in the equity markets. And for the federal government, the reduced rate, the reduced yield in the fixed income markets markets also provide opportunity to borrow money, to borrow money from the market at very, very cheap rates.
Okay, thank you so much for your input and contributions on a News Extra tonight. Nia, I can see you there. Moving on, developed and emerging economies in 2020 had the most difficult financial period due to lockdown of economic activities caused by COVID-19. While most countries resorted to external borrowing to cushion the impact and others struggled to weather the storm, Nigeria's economy, although not immune to the virus and its economic challenges, was able to drive growth